What if I told you that one of Jeffrey Dahmer's most infamous murders might never have happened at all? The evidence I'm about to show you doesn't just expose cracks in the official story, it completely shatters it. This is Stephen Tuomi, the man Dahmer confessed to killing in 1987. The man authorities say was his first Milwaukee victim. There's just one problem. He might have been alive 4 years after his supposed murder. And the court documents that supposedly prove his death? They don't exist in Wisconsin's official records. What you're about to discover will make you question everything you thought you knew about America's most notorious serial killer case. I'm RJ Sykes, and today we're diving into one of the darkest rabbit holes in true crime history. A case so bizarre, so full of holes, that it threatens to unravel the entire Jeffrey Dahmer narrative. Before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because this investigation goes places that will blow your mind. And trust me, you'll want to share this with everyone you know. Fair warning, what I'm about to reveal isn't just unsettling, it's going to fundamentally change how you see one of the most documented criminal cases in American history. Let's talk about the victim the justice system forgot. September 15th, 1987, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 24-year-old Stephen Walter Tuomi leaves his restaurant job for the last time. At least that's what the official record tells us. He's described as friendly, hardworking, a young man from Ontonagon, Michigan, trying to make it in the big city. And then he vanishes. 2 months later, Jeffrey Dahmer claims they met. Not in September, but around Thanksgiving, November 20th. See the problem already? We've got a 2-month discrepancy right out of the gate. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. Dahmer confesses to taking Tuomi to the Ambassador Hotel, claims he woke up the next morning to find Tuomi dead beside him, says he had no memory of what happened during the night. And unlike every other victim, where Dahmer was convicted based on his confession and photo evidence, authorities never charged him with Stephen Tuomi's murder. Why? The Milwaukee police said there was insufficient evidence. No body, no physical proof, no crime. But as you're about to see, there was a trail of evidence, plenty of it. Investigators just didn't look. Let me walk you through something that should make your blood run cold. According to Dahmer's own confession, he 1. Booked a hotel room at the Ambassador for 2 nights. That means hotel records, staff who checked him in, a paper trail. 2. Had been a previous customer at the Ambassador Hotel. Staff would have recognized him. 3. Transported Tuomi's body in a suitcase with help from a cab driver who loaded it into the taxi. 4. Engaged in a violent struggle in a hotel where sound travels, where walls are thin. Now, if you're a detective investigating a murder confession, what would you do? You'd check hotel records, right? Interview staff? Find that cab driver? Look for blood evidence in the room? Talk to neighboring guests? None of that happened. Not one single step. But wait, it gets even more absurd. Dahmer claims he stuffed a grown man into a suitcase measuring just 3 feet by 3 feet by 1 foot. That's 12 inches deep. Let me put this in perspective. The average adult shoulder width is 18 to 20 inches. The suitcase is 12 inches deep. This is physically impossible. You could not fit an adult human body into that space unless you had access to industrial equipment and hours of time. Yet somehow, according to the confession, Dahmer did this alone in a hotel room, loaded it into a cab, and the driver noticed nothing wrong? Oh, and get this. The confession accidentally places these events in the summer of 1984, not November 1987. Multiple times. So we've got the wrong month when Tuomi disappeared, the wrong year in the confession, physically impossible claims, and 0 police follow-up. Now here's where this story goes from strange to absolutely mind-bending. In 1993, Stephen Tuomi's sister Dawn filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Jeffrey Dahmer. The case number was 93 CV006759 in Milwaukee County Circuit Court. She won. A default judgment, meaning Dahmer didn't even show up to defend himself. The judgment? Over $10 million. $50,000 for wrongful death. $10 million in punitive damages. Even $1,500 for burial expenses. Even though there was no body to bury. I have the documents right here, filed July 13th, 1995. Signed by Circuit Court Judge Thomas P. Daugherty on July 20th, 1993. Official-looking papers, legal stamps, signatures. There's just one massive problem. When you search Wisconsin's official circuit court record system for case number 93 CV006759, nothing. Zero results. No records found. Let that sink in. How does a multi-million-dollar civil judgment simply not exist? And here's the kicker. This isn't the only one. There are 7 other multi-million-dollar judgments in Dahmer's probate case file, all filed by families of other alleged victims that also can't be found in Wisconsin's official court records. Think about that. Court documents that supposedly exist in official case files, but can't be verified in the actual court system that allegedly issued them? Either Wisconsin's entire court record system is catastrophically broken, or something else is going on here. Okay, take a deep breath, because what I'm about to show you is the evidence that changes everything. Remember, Stephen Tuomi was allegedly murdered in November 1987. Now look at this. Public records from Ancestry.com show Stephen Walter Tuomi. Correct birth date, December 1962. Residing at 3261 North Oakland Avenue, Milwaukee. From 1989 to 1991. That's 4 years after his supposed death. And there's more. An earlier 1988 entry confirms him living at 1315 North Cass Street, Milwaukee, the exact address listed in Dahmer's confession. If these records are accurate, and public records databases are generally reliable for this kind of information, it means Stephen Tuomi was alive and living in Milwaukee, while Jeffrey Dahmer was confessing to his murder. But the rabbit hole goes even deeper. Stephen Tuomi, like 14 other alleged Dahmer victims, is completely missing from the Social Security Death Index. Now, during the 1980s and 90s, approximately 85% of deaths were recorded in this database. It was the federal system designed to track every American death for Social Security purposes. I searched the National Archives Numiden database. That's the official U.S. government collection of Social Security death records from 1936 to 2007. 0 results for Stephen Tuomi. Actually, 0 results for 15 alleged Dahmer victims. What are the odds that 15 men from the same case would all be missing from a federal database that captured 85% of deaths? Statistically, nearly impossible. Unless something deliberate happened here. Let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture, because this is where the entire narrative starts to crumble. Milwaukee police acknowledged that 5 of Dahmer's alleged victims had no recovered remains. David Thomas, Edward Smith, James Dockstader, Richard Guerrero, and Stephen Tuomi. Here's the question that should haunt every true crime investigator. Jeffrey Dahmer was convicted of murdering 4 victims, whose bodies were never found. The courts accepted his confessions as sufficient evidence. But Stephen Tuomi, who had more potential evidence than any of the others? Hotel records, cab driver testimony, multiple investigative leads? No charges, no trial, case closed. Why was Stephen Tuomi the only one they didn't prosecute? What did prosecutors know that they're not telling us? Or more disturbingly, what did they choose to ignore? The uncomfortable truth might be this. Authorities couldn't charge Dahmer with Tuomi's murder because they knew something we don't. Maybe they knew the confession was fabricated. Maybe they knew Tuomi was alive. Maybe they knew the entire narrative was constructed for reasons we're only beginning to understand. So where does this leave us? We have a confession that contradicts itself. Timeline discrepancies spanning months and even years. Physically impossible claims about suitcases and bodies. Zero police investigation, despite abundant leads. Court documents that don't exist in official records. And public records suggesting the victim was alive, years after his alleged murder. There are really only two possibilities here. Possibility 1. Stephen Tuomi did die in 1987, and what we're looking at is one of the most catastrophically bungled murder investigations in American history. Police ignored evidence, courts issued fake judgments, and somehow public records got his address wrong for years after his death. Possibility 2. Stephen Tuomi never died at all. The confession was fabricated. The civil court documents were manufactured, and the entire narrative was constructed by authorities for reasons we may never fully understand. Either scenario is deeply disturbing. Either scenario represents a massive failure of the justice system. But here's what we know for certain. The official story doesn't add up. The evidence contradicts itself at every turn. And the man at the center of this case, Stephen Tuomi, deserves the truth. His family deserves answers. And if this case was fabricated, we need to ask, what else in the Dahmer story was manufactured? Look, I know this is heavy. I know it challenges everything we've been told about one of the most documented criminal cases in history. But that's exactly why we need to keep digging. That's why we need to keep asking questions. Because if the Stephen Tuomi case was fabricated, it doesn't just expose flaws in one investigation. It suggests something far more troubling about how criminal narratives are constructed, controlled, and sold to the public. I want to hear from you. What do you think happened to Stephen Tuomi? Do you think he's still alive? Do you think the whole case was staged? Drop your theories in the comments below. If this investigation opened your eyes, please hit that like button. Share this video with everyone you know and subscribe. Because I'm not done uncovering the truth about this case. There are more documents, more inconsistencies, more evidence that the story we've been told is not the whole truth. Thanks for watching, and remember, question everything, demand evidence. Never accept the official narrative without verification.